We are live. All right. Now we will get live on Instagram as well. By pushing the proper buttons. All the buttons. Live. Live. And gotta do the switcheroo.
That's the same episode where Tina gets glasses.
Wait.
New glasses that like
Oh, I was like, does she already have glasses?
yeah, like new ones that she thinks.
What's up, Goondocks?
Hi.
This is the first one here. Can you tell us if you can hear us? And so far, we're not pink, so that's good.
Don't say it.
Oh.
It's heavy. So if you take your phone out of the case, it will not move as much.
Hey, all right.
Hi. Hi, people.
We are being heard. Great.
Yay.
We are like a little crooked. You're going to have to tuck it in, Melody, to get in the screen.
I don't like the fact that you told me to tuck it in.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either, but like I don't like it.
Here we go. I'll go back. Oh, that's definitely not working.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I tried a new
Oh my gosh.
phone. Tell you what.
Okay. On YouTube, y'all can't really see what's happening on
Yeah.
Instagram, but like on Instagram, it's a hot mess.
Hot mess on Instagram.
Hot Mess Express.
You know,
last time it was Hot Mess Express on YouTube. This time the Hot Mess Express has moved stations.
Yeah.
Choo choo onto Instagram.
All right.
I make a lot of train jokes for someone who really doesn't know anything about trains.
Do you make train jokes? I don't remember
all
there
the
being train
time.
jokes.
Every day. He never listens to
The
me.
good old HME. Is that a thing?
Hot Mess Express.
Oh, it's like, I don't know what right. I can't even follow her jokes. I don't know.
See, he never listens to us.
Here we go. How about
we
this?
know about Hot Mess Express.
How about this? This looks like a thing.
It looks sort of like
We're going to go with that because that's doing something. All right.
Hi, people.
Appreciate y'all
My Instagram
coming
people.
in and sitting and listening to the insanity. If you haven't already on Instagram, we've got a giveaway going on. We're going to give away 3.
Sorry, YouTube, for the close up of my arm.
Going to give away 3 Kickstarter backer spots. And then for those of you who have already, backed us, you can either choose, if you win, to drop the pledge, or you can get 2 truffles for the price of 1.
More truffles is better.
That's what I would do. Get the second one and sell it. What are y'all's thoughts on people on aftermarket sellers? I don't know if we call them scalpers or not. You know, the folks that are like, oh, this is something that's going to be limited edition. Let me buy it and then sell it immediately the next day after it's closed for like double the price. What are y'all's thoughts on that? We'll throw something controversial out real quick.
In the meantime, while y'all contemplate your thoughts on that, I wanted to share just how deeply impractical my fingernails are that I got today. Hello, DEFCON knives. So
what's up, DEFCON?
So these nails are wildly impractical. I don't know if you can see just how much they are sticking off of my finger.
Yeah.
Like,
here, look.
Look, you're doing the makeup influencer.
This is definitely insanity. This was a level of insanity that I was not prepared for when she came home today.
Yeah. So opening and closing knives is going to be even more of a struggle than it usually is. That was my whole point. It was knife related eventually. Tangentially knife related.
Oh, and she dropped the tangential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a $5 vocabulary.
DEFCON, how's the fulcrums? You guys got fulcrums coming next week, is that right? If y'all haven't seen the DEFCON fulcrum, that uses the same locking mechanism as Truffles does. It's a very like futuristic kind of sleek design. It's actually the one that I had seen at SHOT Show. They didn't tell me at the time like that this was DEF CON's knife. They just said, here's a knife. Check out this locking mechanism.
I'm mysterious about it.
Yeah. So I got to actually flip around. That's actually the knife that sold me on the locking mechanism. So once y'all keep an eye on DEF CON knives for when the Fulcrum gets restocked, because they've been wiped out. I hate people. TMC 15. How am I supposed to pronounce this? TMC? Do I just say TMC, or do I say TMC 15, 17? He says, I hate people who buy knives just to flip them on the secondary market. Gary says, one to keep plain, one anodized. Goondock says, thumbs down on YouTube.
Yes.
I just got an American Blade Works Model 1 V6 in green micarta with Warncliffe MagnaCut blade. Man, that MagnaCut, I did ask, because I knew y'all were going to ask. I did ask if CKO had access to MagnaCut, and they don't currently. So, we may one day have a Truffles MagnaCut.
Maybe we'll be cool one day.
Let's see here. I'm looking up American Blade Works. I got to do is type it. Model 1
Goondock's can
V6.
You see us right now because he flipped over to something different on the screen.
Yeah, I think that. Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it's got an attractive shape.
The green micarta. Yeah. I'm assuming American Blade Works
weathered.
I'm not familiar with them.
Outdoorsy.
Are they made in the U.S.? I don't see an about.
Yeah, it says American made.
American made.
Right
there you go.
Right there.
We still see you on YouTube. Hey, great.
Hi.
Look, Goondocks.
Whiteout 23.
Man, Goondocks is double watching.
Oh, Goondocks wanted to see how much of a hot mess express it was on Instagram.
The best American made knife out there. Now the TRM Atom Neutron, TRM makes all theirs in the US as well, I think. The reason I thought about that is that American Blade Works kind of had some TRM kind of vibes to me, or I guess maybe I don't know if it's Neutron or Atom, but that sort of just simple lines. Looks like it would be a really good slicer. But yeah, so I've had some folks ask me, is Truffles made in the U.S.? And we've done our best to try to say this is the OEM. We are kind of weird, and I say we as in just the knife community. Thoughts about the Benchmade and their prices, especially the Benchmade Narrows. Oh man, the Benchmade Narrows. I got to see it at SHOT Show, and that was before the price was announced. And that was not the price that I was going to guess. So it's like 500 something.
If I had pearls, I'd clutch them. Oh my!
Would you have pearls on your fingernails?
Actually. Hang on.
Can you clutch your fingernails?
I'm gonna clutch, but see, there are slightly little pearls on my necklace, so I'm clutching them, and then I'm clutching my fingers, which also have pearls on them.
Yeah,
double pearl clutch.
And look, Benchmade says it's all about the what do you call it, the R&D for a new product, and that they were doing something that was brand new. I mean, you have to kind of just take their word for it. I mean, in general, they don't seem like they really gouge people with their prices, and they have a killer warranty. I had somebody ask me the other day, were we going to be providing sharpening? You don't want me sharpening your knife, I promise you.
You really don't.
Find somebody who is good at that, because I do not want to mess up your Truffles. You have to pay for the lifetime service somehow. Yeah, exactly. You have to pay for the lifetime service somehow, is Whiteout 23 says on YouTube. But yeah, I mean, you are paying for lifetime service, and I mean so it can't be just the materials.
Hi.
So I don't know. I'm sure there's some logic to it, and I mean, just once you've done when you've sold things at that level and you've sold that many knives, I'm sure they know a lot more about knife pricing than I do, and there's probably a reason why a lot of my knife friends said, my knife industry friends said that we're not probably charging enough for the for Truffles because there's
you know what, y'all?
that back end stuff.
It's all love from us.
Yeah, because there's so many things on the back end, like the warranties, the lost knives. You know what I mean? If you don't charge enough, and then you have some that get lost along the way, or I mean, you make 1,000 of anything, and there's going to be some percentage of them that are not quite right. I would assume, hopefully, the better the OEM, the less issues you're going to have like that. But it's something that you've got to take into consideration, and it's
fair enough.
Maybe something that we have to kind of think through better next time, when lessons learned. But honestly, we wanted to put it at a price where we felt like we wouldn't be able to pass it up, or at least Melody. I can pass up anything.
I'm the opposite. I can't pass up anything.
There's a shirt that I want. I don't know if y'all have seen the t-shirt company or the shirt company. I think it's Results. RSV Result. It's like results without an E and with a V instead of a U. Results.
That's a thing that it drives me a little bit crazy when people do.
What the company names?
Well, whenever there's like a character instead of of the letter,
Oh yeah. This is
it's
results.
Like one of my favorite YouTubers is Graveyard Girl, and she has that backwards 3 for the E, and that drives me crazy.
Oh yeah, how do you search that?
I mean, she's big enough at this point. It's no big deal. But anyway, yes, those things drive me crazy.
Yeah. So what the Results shirts, they have some really cool designs, and they have this one button up that's a short sleeve button up. That is, y'all know the Ninja Turtle bed sheets? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Like the 1990s Ninja Turtle bed sheets. I had those, and just like, super nostalgic for me. I know you need like a pointer or something.
I need more.
And I really want to get it.
Fingers.
It's like $70. I'm like, $70 for a shirt, and Audie's like, you should just get the shirt. And I'm like, I really should. I really, really should.
Unless you can go unearth your actual bed sheets and then make you a shirt out of them. He was going to buy it. Didn't buy it because you didn't know what size to get?
Yeah, I didn't pull the trigger on it.
This one.
So really, I don't know about y'all. I watch knife reviews. I mean, I watch them just because they're good entertainment and good, just to keep up with friends. Whiteout 23 says, I'm like you, I have to be beaten into buying stuff most of the time.
I will beat both of you. You know what, y'all? We're here for a good time, not a long time. So have impractical nail art. Buy the ridiculous Ninja Turtle shirt. You get hit by a bus tomorrow. You never know.
So yeah, but I watch YouTube knife reviews. I'm like, this is a $300 knife that I really, really want. Somebody talk me out of it. So I watch like 10 reviews, and like, okay, all right, good. That's the reason why I'm not going to get it, is because of.
It's the opposite for me. If somebody talks about it, I'm like, oh, well, I have to try it now. I have to.
Let's see here. I don't look at Benchmade, too expensive for the materials used. Won't pay those prices for the plastic. Well, like the bug out, I know the price keeps on climbing. I've not even paid attention to what it keeps going up at, but I know that's keeps going up. Give it up on Benchmade and Spyderco for the moment. Spyderco is getting silly. Personally waited 7-8 months before getting a knife made with MagnaCut because I wanted to avoid the first batch's MagnaCut and any potential issues. Well, that's smart.
That is smart.
My mom had told me, never buy like a first, what do you call it? Like a first model of a vehicle. And I bought
my dad told me the same thing.
Toyota Matrix 2003,
maybe.
I don't know. But man, were there a lot of problems with that vehicle being a brand new thing. But it's just things. And honestly, that was one of the concerns about the roundhouse lock. And then it's we're experimenting. I mean, it's been tested at the factory. I've done like some minimal testing that's like non you
We've had
know,
some reviewers do
yeah,
some good
spine
jobs.
wax and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and just some general cutting. And uh, Advanced Knife Pro kept sticking it into a tree. I don't know if y'all remember. I started knife review watching back in the days of stick yours in a tree, and the whole like everything's every folding knife is for batoning. Um, and so but I've not done that kind of thing with the roundhouse lock. And because I mean, primarily that's I have two of them, but also it's not what it's really for. So, but yeah, I mean, but you guys are trying something brand new, and honestly, just as sort of like a I know we've got just a handful of folks that we're talking to, but you'll probably hear me say this more than once. You're gonna, I think you're gonna have to expect there to be some level of that with the Aurora knife and tool, because we're going to be trying things that haven't been done. That's just sort of like the DNA of,
And silly things too.
yeah, yeah. So
He's a Gemini and I'm a Gemini Venus. We love like novelty.
well, yeah, I'm sure
I
that
know there's probably a lot of like heavy overlap between the astrology crowd and the knife crowd. I'm pretty sure there's just
well, look, I mean,
lot of
you've
people.
got David with the Orion knives naming everything after the constellations. So he's.
But that's astronomy technically.
I thought that was the one with it was makeup. It's cosmetology.
Okay. Okay.
And cosmology.
Yep.
Anyway, that was the joke.
That was
a
joke.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm just saying, like, I think I want to just have like a caveat in general, just to say, like, we're going to do our best. We're going to do our best to provide products that have been tested, and but we're going to be trying things that are new as well. And so, like any company, to me, the thing is not, can you be perfect, but can you make it right when you aren't? And so that's kind of our goal is, just to do our best. And if any, where along the way we don't, things don't come out the way we said they would, then we make it right,
We will.
And so that's just one of the upsides or down, I guess the downsides of trying new things is you have to kind of be prepared for some level of unexpected results. And I appreciate you guys, letting us treat you like guinea pigs.
We're not treating anybody like guinea pigs. Oh my gosh. I swear he's so dramatic.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Let's see. We've got Still Buy a Spider Go Overbench made. Nothing new coming out of the big American companies. Everything's recycled. Conservative versus YOLO. Yeah. Oh, hey, look, Blade Banner came in. I don't know if he came in.
Oh yeah. Did you come in at the new product? Did you come in at the moment we were talking about astronomy versus astrology? Because I mentioned the fact that he's a Gemini and he name dropped you because of constellations, and I was like, it's kind of different. I mean, there's similarities, but
no, we were just, as far not the new product discussion, and just talking about just philosophy in general.
Oh my gosh!
Because because we intend to do things that are new, then there's going to be just some level of we're going to work on these things, and I
think it's going to be perfect. Honestly,
also pessimist and optimist.
But I'm the pessimist, actually. Usually,
Derek says that if we're your guinea pigs, I'd like to request a new wheel to run in. Look, I'll change your bedding out regularly. I mean,
I'll get you treats, cute little treats.
No, I mean, like, we're like, I was doing now, I'll say I was really nervous doing spine wax on my own knife. But I was glad to see that they came through with no issues. So here's a good example. So the question of deadbolt versus roundhouse. So it's all, to me, it's all about your express your design purposes. So for instance, I wanted the roundhouse lock to be able to for you to, survive basic spine wax, some negative pressure like that. But for the most part, you can just tell by the thinness of the blade that it's for EDC. It's not for, outdoor batoning, that kind of thing.
Is there any new merch in the future? TMC 1517XX.
Always. I've got like a list of about 15 to 20 things at the moment.
So he has ADHD, and is also a Gemini. So there's literally constant ideas happening.
Yeah. So getting back to the deadbolt, so people have asked me, compare the deadbolt versus the roundhouse. And I mean, one of the things that we do want to do is just do some more like extensive testing, like y'all might have seen. I always hate saying this. Taylor Martin, best dang EDC. They did a destruction test on the Banter, and it's not designed for that, right? But it is interesting to see what mechanisms can withstand, and so
bonjour.
So to me, that's one of the things that I'm interested in doing. Once I get more than two, is I'd like to do just some torture tests, just because I like information, but always keeping in mind that's not really what it's designed for, So whereas the deadbolt is really designed for that really hard use, if you just look at the construction of it, I mean, it's steel, rods going through the blade, tang, so I mean, like it's meant to be more for heavy use, hard use, Max Level EDC was pointing out one thing that's kind of unique about the roundhouse lock is the liner itself is actually thicker than most liners, just because of the nature of it doesn't sit inside it's separate from the liner, so it's really a liner leaf, and so it's thicker, and then also it doesn't have to be because there's a leg that's pushing it over, you don't have to have it thin enough to bend, because it's not bending, it's, leaning over. And so in some ways, maybe it'll perform better than some liner locks. I'm interested to see, some torture test type stuff. But that is why I'm saying, like, look, that's not what it's for. If we do some tests and we feel like the roundhouse lock performs really well in hard use situations, then we may do a different design.
Like Derek says, a handful of people who think folders should be treated like machetes.
Yeah, really. And that's the thing. Like, I'm fine. Oh, hey, Mike. Mike says bonjour. Yeah, to me, I'm just trying to be upfront and say, this is what this is for. You as the consumer are welcome to do whatever you want to do with it. But I feel like designs should be primarily judged according to what their intent was. So you take a Medford knife and you say, it doesn't slice apples, it splits apples. Okay. And then you take a basic Swiss Army knife, and then you say, how come I can't baton with this? And it's just like, you're asking designs to do what they weren't designed for. So to me, it's a bonus when a knife or any tool performs beyond what it was designed to do.
Sharpened blade is 100% cutting down a tree with. I would watch a live stream of that.
Well, look, here's a really great example. I don't know how many of y'all follow. I'm like really just blanking on absolutely everything today, but Global Wild. What is Joe's global? So I don't know. Joe Flowers. Just Google Joe Flowers.
3-day live stream.
He's.
I'll sit there with my popcorn.
So Joe Flowers, Global Wild something. I don't know. He does like expeditions into the Amazon. Right now, Ben of NAFS and his wife are with Joe. And Joe had asked me if he wanted to take Truffles, if I wanted him to take Truffles into the Amazon. And I'm like, yeah, that would be really cool.
Bushcraft Global.
Bushcraft Global.
I was like, see, you always do that. You say the wrong word
mhm.
and it blocks in my head what the real word is. And it, if you had just asked me,
It's just the way it
I
is.
would have been able to get it. But then you had to say global wildlife, which is wrong.
But that is a thing in
It
Louisiana.
is a thing in
global
Louisiana.
wildlife.
It's cool. It's a cool thing. Okay, so okay,
So yes to new merch.
TMC asked
Working
about
working
a
on that.
smaller version. We want that. We don't know yet. We don't know.
Okay, so let's talk about the smaller version idea. So actually, the first thing I came to Sikio and said was, "I love it. Can you make it smaller?" And they were like, "No, use this one or don't use this one, but this is what it is for right now." I do think that once, I mean, they put obviously a lot of R&D into this design. And this is actually, I don't know the former name of this, but this is actually a refinement of an existing design that they had from, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. So that's brand new news to me. I was talking with my contact at Sikio, and they said that this is actually like I guess a patent had expired and they refurbished it, so it's anyway. So but they've put a lot of R&D into this version of it, and they wanted to sell knives with this version of it. And so I think once we can see Truffles catch on and people want it, and especially after first batch comes in, if you guys like it,
which you will. I know you will.
Then from there, I think we'll be able to see a smaller version, and then from there, what I like about that is not just that it would open up the door for a smaller Truffles, but the design,
tiny baby Truffles.
The design for Truffles was very much driven. It's sort of a combination of the limitations based on, like the design limitations based on. We're just waving over here.
Just trying to wave that caused chaos, anarchy. Okay, there we go. Okay.
So, so
continue.
But the actual, like the innards, the guts of the mechanism is what drove, or at least constrained the design. And so what I was trying to do is design something that I liked on top of, their mechanism. And, but yeah, the actual, I think, Vet Squad, it's always difficult. Says the DEF CON button is much smaller than the Truffles. Whoa. All right, you're still there on Instagram? Okay. So, okay, Goondocks. So you've let the cat out of the bag. Wow. Okay. You've hit the nail on the head there, Goondocks. So yeah, that's actually my plan, is to name it Truffles Junior. If we can get a small one. So
who do you think Truffles' wife would be?
Well, it's more.
I'm gonna need y'all to
it's more of like a mini me, like cloning situation,
No, I think we should ship
it. So, but the button is much smaller than Truffles, but the back of the pivot. So yeah, so the actual button, there is some flexibility in the size of the button itself, but the mechanism is kind of Snuffles is kind of the where the constraint was. No, you're good, Goondocks. I 7.5 overall on this. So you've already got one. Is that right, David? That's you're saying 7.5 on the size of it. Truffles' wife is obviously Bertha.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, David, Ryan Knives. I thought you were ranking the DEF CON. You were like 7.5. I was like, wow, that's I didn't realize David already had one. He's already reviewed it, but you're talking about I think you're talking about the size of it.
Yeah, babe.
So yeah, they were able to make
can't
theirs
with him.
smaller because of the uh, just the way that they did the design. I just didn't want that large center mass and smaller handle. But so DefCon's is sticky. We'll have to look into it because they I think they're probably going to perform. There's one thing that I'm not a huge fan of on Truffles, and I've not heard any reviewers say, and I kept expecting someone to say it, but there's like a old bed springy sort of wiki when you press the button, and I expected people to complain about that just from like a
I like it. I feel like it's a satisfying feeling. I like it. Not good for
not
fat
good for fat fingers.
Is it good for ridiculously impractical nails though? That's
The
what I want.
bonbons.
Called a bonbon. Oh my gosh, that's cute. Because it would be like a little teeny tiny version of a Truffles. It's genius.
Mike Sharpen Blade says it's Truffles is a 10 out of 10. So it's an 8.1 out of 10 because it's oh, so many reminders. I've got to snooze all these reminders. So speaking of, we've got a couple truffles trivia questions here. I was going to, so we'll do like a little mix of see if you guys. Truffles' wife would be a pig, so Pumbaa. Isn't Pumbaa
The warthog
yeah.
in Lion King?
Yeah, it's true. Well, I think Truffles from the Wish for Wings to Work, he would be looking for a rhinoceros wife though, because he's
Right.
he's a pig but thinks he's a rhinoceros.
Yeah.
So
We got to think through this, guys. Like we really we don't want Truffles to marry outside of his species.
the nails, if included, would help with smaller button activation. It's
That's a thing that we will that I'll have to get on designing is knife for ladies with ridiculous fingernails.
yeah. I'm just imagining.
I'm sure there's a huge market for that.
I think there's
At
probably a
least
crossover between
one.
that and pirates who just carry their knife in their teeth.
Mhm.
So
I do that too.
So I think one of those
Truffles'
two.
wife would be called Bon. Oh, I get it.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Truffles' wife would be Bonbon. Yeah, no, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
So
Yeah.
Truffles, yeah, and then they have Truffles Junior. That makes sense. That checks out.
These are
Yeah,
the important
this
questions.
is the R&D.
These are the important questions.
So here's what I'll do. I'm going to ask Melody some questions regarding Truffles, and then I'll ask you guys some questions regarding Truffles. So, oh, can you do it?
I did it.
Hey, you did it.
I waved without almost kicking somebody out.
All right. So, Truffles, the mushroom Truffles.
Isn't it technically a fungi?
Is that different?
So yeah, like
I thought this says
so I don't know.
Are Truffles mushrooms?
I was looking up a thing as well, and it was like
white truffles are considered to be underground mushrooms and are very similar and often confused for mushrooms, but they're not the same.
Right, because I guess like it's fungus, like a fungus, but it has to. I don't know. There's maybe like fungi is the umbrella term, and then underneath it, you have to have specific features to be technically a mushroom.
Yeah, that's probably it. Earliest recorded mentioning of truffles, the mushroom, the fungi, the thing that comes from the ground. Ballpark, what are you thinking?
So like ancient Greece and Rome.
Okay, so give me a year. Give me a BC.
536.
Well, you got it spot on. No, it's like 2000.
Oh, okay.
So it's like 4,000 years ago.
That's a long time ago.
Wit Truffles, the candy, originated in France. What year are you thinking?
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna guess like before the First World War.
Anybody else? Anybody got any?
I'm gonna guess like 1908.
Okay, we got 1895. So
Oh
pretty
wow,
close.
that's a really close. Good job.
All right, you got some questions for me?
There was a 1832.
Oh,
yes.
1832 Goondocks. So someone says name it Junior Goondocks since he's the one that spilled the beans.
Less Viagra.
Truffles metallurgy.
Okay, less Viagra and truffles metallurgy would make the. Oh. So.
I'm trying to do the math on that one.
Okay.
So Truffles is a real fun. Oh, I get it. Mike says Truffles is a real fun guy.
That took me embarrassingly long time.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what a nice thing to say.
But yeah, we mentioned this last time. But the Truffles, it was named. The candy is named after the mushroom because they both are like, dark brown, round.
What is the soil pH that truffles require to
7.1.
7.5 to 8.3.
Truffle knowledge. You better know whose house you're in.
That's right. Yeah, I bet none of y'all expected to spend your Friday night learning about the.
No, it's true. Look,
the pH levels of soil.
Goondock says, just to be clear, I did not know you were going to name it that. It just came off the top of my head. Look,
Lies.
It's great.
You've been watching us. You've bugged
No,
our home.
it's good. It's good. Well, I'm excited because I want to get it out there. We want to spread the Truffles love, and then I'll be able to say, look, people are asking for Truffles Jr.
So many people.
I did bring leftover Truffles candy from last week.
Not all those are truffles, though. Some of those are just regular chocolate bars.
Okay.
Like the ones, but they're good though. Like did you taste the chicken and waffles one?
Oh no, chicken and waffles.
There was a chicken and waffles candy bar or chocolate bar.
Doesn't it say something like? No,
it's chicken and waffles.
Okay.
It's terrible.
Ask me.
I hated it.
Okay. Well, look,
I think it's gone bad or something because look at the discoloring.
Oh no, that's you.
I don't know what
you'll have those.
I don't know what
that's what happens when
chicken and waffles. To me, it smells like it's
you do this
or something.
Like you're not interested to try something until someone says it's terrible. You're like, oh, well, let me get in on that.
Okay. The strong aroma of truffles are not just the result of their own biochemistry, but also the microbes that colonize their bodies.
Mm.
How's that for some Friday night fun right there?
Mm-hmm.
Where did you find a chicken and waffles candy bar? Okay. So this, I don't know if so the brand is Hammond's, and I've seen them a couple of places. I think I may be crazy, but I think you can find sometimes this brand at Target. Where I got this one is Cost Plus World Market. I don't know if you have those stores where you live, but they Cost Plus World Market is a fun place to shop. They have all kinds of goodies from all around the world. I like to find fun snacks from other locations, but they also have weird stuff like that. But this brand, they also have normal-ish.
That's not normal. Raspberry habanero.
Yeah, this is less. This is not completely normal, but raspberry habanero. This one was really good.
Yeah, this is
and midnight snack. That's a normal
pretzel
one.
Cookie brittle marshmallow. Look, this was weirdly spicy. I don't know why. I mean, I guess chicken and waffles are kind of spicy, but I liked it.
Faith liked it too. I thought it was disgusting.
Says Vet Squad says the knife I hope will not smell the same as Fun Guy. Look, interestingly enough, technically you can call something truffles flavored or truffles essence of truffle.
Like truffle oil doesn't have to have truffles in it.
Yeah.
If you use the same chemicals that make the aroma that causes the truffles smell, then you can call it truffle oil.
Trickery. trickery.
Yep.
We need to get with knife pivot lube. What is it? That knife pivot? Yeah, KPL knife pivot lube. What's the name of their company though? I can't remember. We need to get with them on some truffle oil for knives. We'll make that our lubrication.
I don't think
Sergio says giveaway. Yeah, we've got that giveaway going on.
Yes.
So look. People asked us if we would give away one of the prototypes. Next go around, I would love to get enough prototypes to be able to do something like that. But man, we've got 2. And
he thought long and hard about it.
Yeah, I just
he thought out loud long and hard about it for weeks.
It might have done some permanent damage to her. But yeah, so man, really wanted to consider doing a like maybe a raffle for like knife rights or something like that. But so those things are not out of the question, but just for now, with only having 2. And something else that I had considered was ordering extra prototypes and then like trying to sell them in the back end, because prototypes are pretty expensive. And so, just some way to kind of like, not lose all that. What are you going to say?
He's emotionally attached to them.
Or you said, I thought you were going to.
Oh, no, it was just a Truffles fact because I read it and it grossed me out a little bit. So truffles reproduce by being eaten by animals. So I'm just going to read it to you. The pungent smell of truffles attract animals for a reason. Unlike above ground mushrooms, they can't use the rain and wind to spread their spores. Therefore, truffles have to rely on animals to reproduce. They produce strong odors to attract animals such as pigs and flies into eating them. The spores then scatter through the feces of these animals.
Ooh.
And that's what you're paying thousands of dollars to consume, folks.
Yeah, that's great. Speaking of
Friday night,
the most expensive truffle was a 3.3 pound white truffle, which and a 2.86 white truffle that were both auctioned off. So this is combined like 6 pounds of white truffle.
You're boring me.
Wow. Okay. I don't know if anybody else wants to be my co-host. Okay. Yeah, we could consider, a truffle spray, truffle fart spray.
It could be it's Poo-Pourri by Truffles. Like that's our next collaboration.
Yeah, look, that squad says collab with Winter Blade Co. I'm going to come back to that one. Don't get too excited because it's nothing, but it's just information that I think you'll find interesting.
We're big fans of Winter Blade.
Yeah, Brian is the
in
coolest.
Our house.
So 6 pounds of truffles auctioned off. What was the price tag? 6 pounds.
330,000 million.
Did you look at the number? It was 330,000.
Oh yeah, I did.
Okay, see. Okay, here's one that you can't Google. So in the King of the Hill episode, where they go truffle hunting, which if you saw that post the other day, is another thing that I spent way too much time on. But they actually do go truffle hunting. And where does Dale get the idea for harvesting truffles?
Was it like he was at a restaurant with Nancy?
Yeah, he was at a restaurant.
Okay, so fun thing. So like his like favorite show is King of the Hill. My favorite show is Bob's Burgers. But what's interesting is like how much like crossover, like there's a lot of episodes that are Bob's Burgers episodes that are really like I don't know, like a redoing or like a reimagining
Uh-huh.
of a King of the Hill episode. Like there's a truffle hunting episode of Bob's Burgers as well.
Yeah.
Smells like teen truffles. Yes. Yes. Okay. So
yeah. So the joke in the King of the Hill episode is Dale says, I went out with Nancy on a romantic dinner, and she got truffles shaved on her pasta, and it was $20. So he says, "Thank goodness we got separate checks." But yeah, that was the motivation. So Winter Blako, no, I don't have any collaborations going on with him, but he's a super cool dude. And if you guys remember the Megoptera, we were working on that as a prototype for about a year and a half, and we hit some roadblocks. And Brian, hey Paul Monco, what's going on, man? I was just carrying the clairvoyant earlier today. In fact, I actually switched it out because I was like, last time people asked, "Hey, oh boy, doubling up." Hey Paul. So in fact, last time somebody asked to do the pocket check, I was carrying the clairvoyant, and so I had to take it out of my. I took it out of my pocket tonight because I was like, if they ask, then I need something else to show them. So this is the Hawk, QSP Hawk, right?
yeah, I think you got the Hawk and I got the.
Yeah, this is like the super fancy double. You've got the Damascus blade and then the copper Damascus handle. So I went super funky, super fancy today.
Didn't I get the Penguin XL?
Yeah,
I got the Penguin XL and you got the Hawk.
Yeah, right? Did you do the aluminum or did you do the gold?
I think I did the aluminum.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, and you've got Paul's got another one that came out with Kaiser. It's the one that's the Wailing Mystic. Is that right? Is that?
It is very pretty.
I think it's called the Mystic.
It's super pretty.
But anyway, so what I was saying about Brian from Winter Blade Co. He helped us out big time with troubleshooting an issue that we were having with the Megoptera. Sadly, that wasn't the only issue we were having with it, so that wasn't, I guess, enough to really help us move forward with that project. So we've kind of put a pause on that one, and so I think it's I'm really glad that it happened the way it did, because I learned a lot in that process of where you can get bogged down in the design world. So it was good for me to hit
every single point.
Yeah. It was good for me to hit some roadblocks along the way, so that when we've hit some of those with Truffles, that's been a little bit easier to get past. Yeah, it is the Mystic. But yeah, Brian is the Brian's one of those guys that I'll just like show his videos to non-knife people, and they're still impressed. Like,
we talk about him every day.
It is true.
We sit down at our dinner table every single night and talk about how great he is.
It is true that Melody eventually said,
"How's the chicken? It's good." Have you heard today what Brian at Winter Blade Co. is doing now?
She has asked me to stop saying. Will you just stop saying at Winter Blade Co. Because I know
you're talking. I know who you're talking
about. Anyway, but yeah, Paul said it is the Mystic, and I think he said that one is available right now. So. So many good things going on. I did mention earlier, people talking about the American Blade Works knife, and I think made in the U.S. stuff is really cool. I encourage people to buy according to their, according to your conscience, according to the way that you feel. So some people are really opposed to buying
according
things
to your values.
Yeah. People are.
Okay.
People are saying, I don't buy knives made in China. That's totally fine. This one is made in China. We've tried to be very clear about that. And try to also tell the story of how we got to meet them. And
this is funny. Well, I say grace before a meal when you can just talk about how amazing.
It's.
Dear God, thank you for Brian at Winter Blade Co. and his genius. He has blessed us
Just
with
nobody
with
send
his-
this to
thank
Brian.
you. Everyone send this to Brian. We love you. Heart fingers.
I have no idea what I was saying.
It was very important.
Yeah, look, about not just, like people say, oh, is it made in China? And I'll say, yes, it's made in Yangjiang, which is like a historical, like worldwide center for knives for like the last 400 years. They've been making cutlery in this specific area in China. It's got a really rich history, and like the people are really cool. And
yeah, the people we've been working with have been really, really incredible to work with. Just like Michael and Laura have really, developed a great relationship over the past year. It's really been great.
Yeah, they look out for us. They are trying to provide the best service. So it's just one of those things that, like, people only want to do a U.S. made. That's totally understandable. Like Melody said, we can still be friends. We've just being that we're
I'm sorry.
This is something that we want to be able to provide a product that's really great, but is also really affordable. And our friends in Yangjiang are able to help us do that.
Yeah.
Derek says, generally speaking, I prefer things made in the U.S., but not always possible. I still find joy in things that are at least designed for people from here. Yeah, no, and that's that's part of it too.
Yeah.
And to me, one of the things that I try to be very specific to point out is, that this is designed, the locking mechanism is designed and patented by Sikio. It's Frank Xu is the guy who actually holds the patent, designed the lock. It's just a really great guy and just an innovative Chinese craftsman. And to me, part of what's cool about this is that we can communicate with people across the world, and the things that they are, innovating, we can collaborate with. To me, that's just a really cool thing. We had considered not doing our first batch of truffles available internationally until people from other countries started saying, hey, I would love to carry truffles in Australia. I would love to carry it in Germany. I'd love to carry it, wherever.
And I said, I will carry it to you myself.
She did say that.
I will put it in one of those little spy briefcases and attach it to my wrist with a handcuff.
Perfect.
Put on sunglasses and a trench coat and walk through the airport.
Can you also have somebody else underneath you, so it's two of you?
Yeah. No, it's gonna be just a long line of squirrels underneath.
Why do they need more squirrels overseas?
I don't know. There's a lot of squirrels. Squirrels like to travel too.
I guess. I don't know.
He's judging squirrels.
It's true.
Carmen Sandiego, yes, but weirder.
Oh yeah, I did. Looking like Carmen Sandiego.
I think I could do a great Carmen Sandiego cosplay.
It's not too late. You got plans for Halloween?
We do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sam, our son wants us to be Five Nights at Freddy's characters, obscure ones also, which that'll be fun. But no, it's the one he wants me to be is super cool looking. It's he showed me the design and I'm like, oh, so she's a robot ballerina clown. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, say no more. I'm on board.
I'm someone who's flesh is falling off their bones, I think is
it'll be fun.
I don't know. Who's going with it? Are we super into horror games? So it's funny because my son started playing Five Nights at Freddy's. He was probably 5.
No,
6.
okay. No, I think he was about 7 because I remember when he asked me if he could start, if he could download Five Nights at Freddy's. He was using your phone to text me about it. I don't remember. It was I was traveling for work or something. He was like, Mom, I really want to do Five Nights at Freddy's. And I was like, okay, well, I'll look into it. We'll talk about it when I get home, baby.
So I love
we're horror fans.
yeah, horror genre in period is something that we're into. I don't get as much time or don't make as much time to play video games, but I would say yes. Like if I'm playing a video game, if it can be a horror video game, that's bonus points. So like probably Diablo 1 and 2, and then I've played 3 on the Xbox, but like early on, PC 1990, late 90s, playing Diablo 1 and 2. Tons of hours on that.
Overall, we're just into scary stuff in general.
Yeah.
But so like we ended up having kids that also like scary stuff.
Yeah,
too.
They're pretty weird.
They are.
We watched the Wednesday.
We just watched Wednesday. I know we're like behind literally the entire world, but we just watched Wednesday.
Yeah, it was really good,
and I really enjoyed it. Like I don't know, it's one of those things where like once people who know me, they're like, you have to watch Wednesday. You're gonna love Wednesday, and I'm like. Okay, see, now that you've said that, I'm skeptical. I don't feel like I'm gonna like it now that so many people have told me I'm going to. I don't know, but anyway, so we finally watched it, and guess what? I loved it. It was great. I really enjoyed it. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You haven't watched Wednesday.
Oh,
okay.
Let me because I hate spoilers. So let me see.
No, we're not gonna spoil.
See if I can do a non-spoilers. To just like address the vibe of what sold me on it. It's a blend of like.
What did you watch on Wednesday?
It's like a horror Hogwarts whodunit.
Yeah, no, it was really surprising.
That to me was Wednesday is fun, no spoilers. Yeah. Just like horror Hogwarts and whodunit.
And
to
really,
me, it was a really neat combination of those 3 elements.
Really, I think, fun characters. Like it added a whole new dimension to the Addams Family. Because I've always liked the Addams Family stuff. Like I was the Addams Family movies with Christina Ricci were movies that I loved as a kid, and so the fact that she's in this show was like. Yay.
So Paul says that he's horror is his jam. Paul, the comic that you did with the which was it a PM2? Just like I loved that idea of combining the comics with the pocket knife. Those are like I grew up. I got into comics right at the death of Superman, and so like that storyline was really like. Important to me. I actually wrote in and asked a question for one of the comics, Superman comics, and I got my question like posted in the comic book. It was right after Superman had come back to life. Sorry, spoilers. He came back to life, and then shortly after that, he was going to be losing his Clark Kent identity, and I wrote like a 10-year-old passionate appeal for them to not let him lose his Clark Kent persona. I don't know why I thought that they were going to actually do that, and so they posted my passionate appeal in there. But yeah, it was PM2. Man, I just loved that project. I was like, man, that's an idea worth stealing.
So Derek says looking forward to the new Saw movie, which is funny because Jeff, the next comment, is a big fan of the Saw movies.
So this is Jeff Hamilton, but not the Jeff Hamilton that we know.
Just kidding. Not the wrong Jeff. Sorry,
so
Jeff.
I got an email from Jeff.
Sorry, other Jeff.
The other day, and I was
we
like,
know another Jeff Hamilton.
And I was like, hang on. Were you on the live the other day? Because I was talking to we were like, hey Jeff, but it's different Jeff.
Yeah.
School Jeff though.
Yeah. We are big fans of people named Jeff Hamilton.
Paul says, I really appreciate that. I wanted to make something that was an extension of the knife thematically. It really was. It was very, very cool. And just a neat concept. Like I would just love to see that that concept continue, because I feel like that's got legs.
Yeah.
We'll do
I
you
don't
know,
know,
like
like
Truffles action piece. You know, I don't know if y'all saw my post from and didn't see another Hostel. That's Hostel Part 3. Yeah,
personally, I'm not like into the Saw and Hostel movies.
Yeah,
it's just not my jam.
The first Saw,
everybody has like their favorites.
Was yeah, it's something I really enjoyed. I've not really gotten into the other series. I tend more towards like vampires, zombies, werewolves.
I really like ghosts.
She's terrified of aliens.
I'm terrified of aliens.
I think we're gonna do
so scary, but I also am fascinated. It's
I think
like
we're gonna do
a fear and fascination. Equal.
I've got a short horror story that I wrote on my YouTube channel. A couple Halloweens ago, I did an audio, like just a reading of it, and not going to.
So the first Saw. I wish I didn't see Saw.
Didn't see Saw. I think we're going to do 2 personal horror stories, 2 just like scary things that happen to us. I don't know if you guys listen to Mr. Nightmare, but that's like, you know, our 6-year-old or 12-year-old.
Lucifer, yeah, no pink filter this time.
Yeah, no pink filter.
This is sadly we're not pink.
Yeah, we
are crooked on Instagram though, so
yeah, I just like do like this. It's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't remember what I was talking about.
It was
something
important.
Amazing. Love the bleak, slow burns that have been coming out lately. Hereditary,
Truffles
Midsummer,
versus Zombies. Shut up! That's a genius idea. I love that.
Yeah, Hereditary. Did we see Hereditary?
Yes.
Oh yeah, the head.
Yeah. Don't say that. Okay, but like side note for people who have seen,
she needs to see Babadook. It was really good.
Seen Hereditary.
Our son's name is Samuel, and then the Babadook.
When it came out, it was too close to after he had been born, and I was still very like emotional and tender as like a new mom, and so I was like, I cannot watch this. But
yeah,
so
and every horror movie at the time had a child named Sam in it, and so it's like, okay, you can't. We gotta start vetting these, you know. Yeah, Mr. Nightmare. Mike said Mr. Nightmare. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Nightmare.
That's what I'm about. So Mr. Nightmare's just great, like stories of people's experiences, just told in a really dramatic way. And we both have like a story we love to tell. I was like, we should do like a Mr. Nightmare style recording of us telling
Lucifer
that
is
story.
Back and forth is really funny.
Okay. Now I'm over here again. But the YouTube feed seems faster. Oh, and we're just moving in light speed over there.
We're slow on Instagram.
Let's see. I think.
Oh yeah, the head. Okay, so what I was going to say is for those of y'all who have seen Hereditary, have you also seen the meme where the girl, you know the one I'm talking about, is in the back seat in Barbie's convertible?
I did.
Have you seen that meme? And did it disturb you how much you laughed at him about it?
That movie just went in directions I didn't.
Hereditary was wow. That was one of those movies.
Yeah, I was talking with somebody this week, and they were like, "You're a Baptist worship pastor. Is that weird that you're into knives?" And I was like, not as weird as me being into horror and metal. That's weirder. That's harder to explain.
We're real weirdos.
Yeah, and I actually have a so Ray from Everyday City Carry and Crimson Fury. That's James from Crimson Fury, and Tier 1 EDC. We all did a horror
podcast.
Yeah, like a live stream.
Yeah,
a couple Halloweens back, and that was the question was like, okay, so what's the deal with being a Baptist, minister and also into horror? And the short version of that is there aren't really any other genres that deal with anything that is as clear-cut good and evil as the horror genre. There's
from a sociological and psychological perspective, it says a lot about what what we are afraid of as
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
I
And
like
you
it.
look
Let's
at
stick
horror
around.
through the years, like and there's some really interesting studies that show like in like wartime, what is scary during wartime versus what's scary in like times of great um, like prosperity.
Mhm.
It's just there's some really interesting connections there. But yeah, for me, there's just um, there's you don't really ever get the questions of good and evil, and and generally good triumphing over evil in like Hallmark movies. I don't know, romantic comedies. So Metallica is my absolute go-to all-time goat. There's a bunch of other, just like individual songs that I like
Yeah.
from a bunch of other
Metallica
bands,
is
but
our
there's
ultimate.
yeah, there's not
Ultimate.
any other band that I'm like I like 99% of what they
The
do.
first time we did one of these, someone recommended it was like a Scandinavian girl band named Ginger or something, metal band. I don't know. Spelled with a J. J I.
Oh, some you should.
I looked it up and I still have it. Like I still keep remembering that I need to
Yeah,
like
was
listen to
that?
them, and I haven't yet, but I have a note on. It's always like I look. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
was I was
yeah.
wondering if that was
Were you the one who recommended it? Because like I googled it on my phone and like I still have it on there, but like
definitely the
I always
like
remember that I need to listen to them at a moment when it would be wildly inappropriate to do so. And so I'm like, okay, mental note, I need to listen to this later. Okay.
yeah, Lamb of God is it's not what you think. Um, and when I was younger, I would listen to like the more like extreme like screaming stuff, and I just at the end of the day, I wound up just liking things I can sing along with. So metal bands with really strong vocalists, is kind of like or just really good melody writers. Um, but yeah. So
Bite of
Jeff
that.
says horror kind of loses its bite after a halo jump or my chute tangled on to deploy. Like maybe there was a nice soft pine tree to break my fall and hips. And whew, yeah, and
I can
that's
imagine
the other
after
thing
that,
too.
like nothing is scary.
Yeah, like there's some interesting like uh you're essentially practicing when you're listening to horror, like, and I'll read
Watching horror.
or watching horror, like
Yeah.
if I'm listening to Mr. Nightmare and I'm going like these people on
No, no,
here.
no. Like, have y'all like actually watched those Mr. Nightmare videos? Like these people, they do not watch. The problem is they're all about to get murdered because they don't watch enough horror movies. They do
Yeah,
not know. Like, yo, do not go into that house.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
So
gosh.
it's like Pizza Guy, and he's like, yeah, I knocked on the well, the I got there and they said that I was at the wrong place and I had to go three doors down and all the lights were out and I was standing on the doorstep and the door slowly creaked open but no one was there, and then I saw a faint light far off in the distance and the person said, "Come in here, I'm back in here." And I walked into the living room
And
and
there
then
was a foul stench.
yeah, and then I get to the area where the light was, and there's no one there, and that's when I began to be worried. That's when you began to be worried. Why were you not worried when you got in the car to go deliver the pizza? You should always be worried.
These people they have not watched enough horror movies. They
So
do
you need the
not
practice.
know.
You need the practice. Watch the
These
movies.
people.
Be scared. It's but yeah, there's some nice like tie-ins of metal and horror. Um, there's
Pizza Guy Wrong film.
Pizza Guy. Well, yeah. So like the moment in Zombieland when For Whom the Bell Tolls kicked in, like I'm pretty sure I was like shouting in the movie theater when that, because I've always wanted like a Metallica song in a horror movie, and now there's been multiple movies where there's been something from Metallica in it, but
So if metal is the horror of music, what is K-pop? Because at some point I took a hard left from Metallica and ended up in K-pop.
well, look,
So that's where I
I
am.
started with R&B.
Yeah,
and
Boys to
then
Men. He was really big
Boys
into
to
Boys to Men
Men
and ended up
to
in Metallica.
It's
So
real easy. Yeah, Mastodon. I've listened to just a couple things. My cousin is a death metal, which
musician.
yeah, if y'all heard on the Truffles video,
Yeah.
um,
Hi, Waylon.
the Waylon. So on the Truffles video, the theme song that's on there,
Teletubbies.
K-pop is a Teletubbies.
That's fair.
It's probably not far.
That's not far. Yeah.
The
Barbie movie.
The music. Sorry, the music from on the Kickstarter video is from my cousin. He's a really great metal guitarist. His YouTube channel is Metal Vocalist Wanted, all one word. He hasn't posted on there in a while, but at one point in time, he was looking for a metal vocalist on there because he's a great guitarist. And then he just started doing like a bunch of there's a bunch of really good like metal parodies on there. He's got a metal happy birthday that I'll send around to people all the time. It's almost up to 1 million views, which is pretty cool to me. Yeah, K-pop is the Teletubbies.
Or the Barbie movie as well.
Yeah, I could see that too. Yeah, Rob Zombie, he did the Monsters movie.
Somebody asked about that somewhere.
We were thinking about
we had seen it yet, and we have not.
We had that on our list to do like a week or two ago.
So many things that we need to say. When I say that we just watched Wednesday.
Yeah, and I
that's
generally
how far behind we are.
I generally avoid TV show like not TV, but like shows, like recurring shows. Because I'm like, man, I can't like make a commitment to that. I'm one of those like if I start, I have to finish. You know what I mean? So like I would rather watch a movie that I know is going to be over, watch it and be like, okay, great, I saw it, and then
right. So what happens? Like so. If I get started on a show and I get into it, he will be upset with me that I did not include him on it because he wants to get in on the show too. So I end up having to whenever I am like, okay, I want to like sit around, lay on the couch and watch some TV. I have to watch. I mean, like I really love them, but I know that it's not really his jam. Like boring documentaries, like that's the thing that I have to get into so that he will be less upset with me with getting like watching it.
You know, like for whatever reason, whenever I watch something, I'm like, I want to get like if I get 10-15 minutes into something, I'm like, this is good. I need to stop this so that Melody can see it. I don't know why. It's just like I want to experience it with somebody. It's very sweet and romantic, but that's just not how I work. I'm like, oh, I like this. I'm just gonna watch it. You know, Lucifer, y'all know Dylan Mallory, right? So Dylan, you know, great guy, and you know, he's very much into metal. He's got all the tats, you know, he's a very he can be kind of intense looking, and he's like, man, I can't do it. He's too much of a scaredy cat. It's always the people you don't expect that are like, so like your name is Lucifer. It's literally Lucifer, and you're like, yeah, no, I can't watch horror movies. Yeah, when Dylan's like, especially like if it's got dolls in it, nah, can't do that. Yeah. I mean, we all have like something that's really like especially scary to like for me, it's it's aliens, but it's also like I don't know, like I don't really like torture-y movies. Like they just they don't do it for me. They're not fun enough for me. I don't know. I like and I also don't like I don't know, stuff that's like you like movies about like bad things happening in caves, right? Like The Descent. Yeah, The Descent is an awesome movie. Yeah, it's claustrophobic movies. It's claustrophobia. Yeah, I like that. I know it's a good movie, but like jump scares are the fun part for me. So it's that dread in your chest that is like that's the worst / best. Waylon, do you know what MBTI you are? So I have this theory that that people who are a certain MBTI don't like horror movies because I think it may be but I think it may be your MBTI. It's the counselor type of MBTI. Yeah, I've gone to Baptist seminary, and most of the counselors that I would talk to could not watch horror movies. And so I think it has to do with like your
Empathy.
Your empathy. Like if you're
I'm
someone who's very empathetic,
but like I can't. But the thing is like there's something about like if it's on a movie, my brain really understands that this is not real, and like so I'm not really disturbed by it. But if someone gets even a nosebleed in front of me in real life,
she's
or
out.
like a cut or something, any kind
Babe,
of real,
you should stop talking about it. She will literally
even
pass
talking-
out talking about it. So we're going to get her.
It's so bad.
I really don't want her to pass out on
like
live.
I took my sister to the hospital, and talking about the reason that we went to the emergency room, I passed out. It wasn't even my thing. I was fine, and I like, you know, how helpful is that? Like, so stupid.
A as Return to Oz haunts me. I've not seen Return to Oz.
Yeah, I've not heard of that.
And Jeff says, "Fear is your body's way of telling you to get off the X." I'm assuming that X marks the spot, like you're in trouble. Yeah. So I know we've talked about a million things. I don't know if y'all have any Truffles related questions. INFJ advocate, cannot handle horror, really enjoy superhero movies.
I'm INFJ too, Waylon. Love horror movies. So I don't think it's MBTI related. What Enneagram are you though? Because I'm 4.
Are they not like basically a overlap?
I mean, like one to one. They look at different aspects, so there's not like a 1-to-1 correlation.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I
can't do needles at blood work. No. So like whenever they have to draw my blood, I tell them like it's not like I need to not know what you're doing. I need to look over here, watch a video. And
she was reading the instructions.
Oh my gosh.
Of like what countries you can't have been visiting. And then
Whenever I tried
instructions.
Waylon, what's funny, Waylon? I'm 4-wing 5.
Wow, that's hilarious.
The Bohemian.
It's just like
the free spirit. That's what I am. No. So like I tried to give blood in college. And you know, they give you like a manual to look through, like, you know, okay, like have you visited these countries? Have you ever had this? I was reading through the manual and I passed out reading the manual. They were like, "Oh no, honey, you can't give no, honey. It's real sweet that you tried, but you can't do this."
Jeff Hamilton says, "I'm ENTJ. I always want to say I'm NFRB.
I know, right?
But I don't feel like anybody would get the Dexter's Lab reference. Never removed from box. I'm NFRB.
Right. So I am that level of squeamish about real life, but like, I don't know, like, you know, any number of crazy, gory, whatever on screen, it doesn't really affect me.
Yeah, she's she'll pass out. You were calling somebody about your blood results and almost passed out on the highway.
I was literally like routine blood work that I had done. I'd gotten the results of, and so I was talking them over with a friend who had, you know, she's got a lot of illnesses and stuff, so she gets blood work done a lot. And I was like, "Oh yeah, so like my such and such was a little high, right?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, that's no big deal, whatever." It was a very mundane conversation about routine blood work that was not even injury. I was driving. I was on the phone driving. I had to pull over because I started to pass out. It's very bad.
Oh, Goondocks asked like a million years ago. I don't know if they're still here, Goondocks, but he asked how close we were to the keep on Trufflin coin.
Oh, the coin.
I think we're 140 or 135 away.
Gotta keep on Trufflin.
So I don't know. I've looked at some numbers as far as like, you know, obviously in the last 48 hours, you know, people the FOMO starts kicking in. They're like, you know, it's now or never. Gotta jump in and start doing that. So maybe that we see some more pop up. You know, it's sort of like it jumps at the beginning because you got the early bird, and then every time that we have like a review, there's a bump, and then it's been, you know, pretty plateaued the last week or so, and then we're expecting there to be. I think I sent you a thing. Who knows? I mean, and whatever it winds up, I was telling Melody the other day. I was like, even if half the people who are backing us now said, "Never mind, well, we're going to back out," it still would be like way more, than we would have ever dreamed it would have hit. And so, we hope that we can hit the 900 because that would help us with the factory that bumps up into a new category in terms of the price points, which means we won't lose quite as much. Well,
Right.
not lose, but it helps us, do for future projects.
All right, we're gonna need to cut this short at some point soon, but like we got a couple. Okay, so the T Squad 6 has volunteered to help fill the portable refrigeration units during COVID. Army portable morgues, horror movies, or nothing. I cannot imagine. It is a
Thank you for doing that.
special-
That's man.
like people who can do stuff like that are a blessing to this world because people like me obviously cannot handle that.
Yeah.
I can handle lots of things. Like I'm a brave girl in many, many ways, but like I cannot handle stuff like that.
I just want to applaud Melody for being able to read your name. It's pretty obvious that it's the T Squad, but I kept calling you the Thet Squad because I'm an idiot.
I mean, I don't know. You may be right. I assumed it's the T Squad.
I'm sure that's right. Why would it?
Okay.
Yeah.
And so Lucifer is asking about
Yeah.
the knives, which is theoretically the reason that we're on.
Yeah. I know you mentioned anodizing. What ideas do you have in the pipeline that you'll do for yourself? Okay, so I mean, we've only got a handful of folks here, but we'll hear some thoughts from you guys because we have had such a much larger than we had anticipated response. It does open up the option for us to do some add-ons, and currently the one option would be to do an anodized hardware set, maybe like 2 colors, because the minimum order is 100. So if I ordered, if I offered 4 colors, it's, I wouldn't be able to make the minimum order on all 4 colors. But like if we did 2 colors, we could say like, you can do, a gold, anodized, the bronze anodized titanium, pivot collar, clip filler, backspacer. Just in terms of like ease of packaging, it would be great if that was not 4 separate items, but it was just one package of all 4. So we'll probably do it that way just to keep it as simple as possible. But that would be one option, is to do some anodized hardware that you would just buy an additional set. The T Squad says blue. Blue, blurple, purple.
Blurple.
Yeah, blurple's nice. The Timascus would be cool. Obviously, that I don't know what the minimum orders for those are, but that's the thing that you run into when you're doing something like this. You're you don't have the quantity to order 6 different colors, and so that's why people were asking, why is it only one color? Was because 300 is the minimum of a single color, and so you run into issues with that. Zerk would be cool. Well, let me ask you this. I mean, like, if you'd got a color, let's say you wanted purple, would you do the pivot? What I imagine is people would probably do the pivot, the backspacer, and maybe the clip, but they probably would leave the clip filler the same color as like the knife handle. But I mean, would y'all use a differently colored clip filler, or would you just use, since it's you want it to kind of like?
No.
Lucifer says no to the clip filler. I'm assuming anodized clip filler. I'm assuming. Because I mean, in my mind, I think generally the idea is just for it to sort of fade in the background, so that it doesn't really pop up. In fact, one thing I tried to do. The clip itself, and it's hard to like make guarantees based on these prototypes, but when I took the screw out of the clip, it was still difficult. Their tolerances were so tight, it was still difficult to get the clip out. Pulling it like, the screw is out, and I'm like, finally get it out. And so I asked them, can we do a clip filler that's just, it doesn't have a screw, that's just pressed in there, because like the tolerances were so tight. And they said, no, they don't want to do that because, they could fall out, and they don't want to, bank on having the tolerances that tight. But, I thought that would be cool to have like a seamless, or not seamless, but there would be a seam, but there'd be screwless clip filler. You'd have to take the handle off and pop it out from the other side. But I feel like that would be really cool. Noted the clip filler. I like the inner screws and pivot collar, and clip and back spacer. Yeah. Hardware would be good if I did blur. Oh yeah, man, that would be cool. And that's one thing. So my friend John, he does like the lightning strike. Anno, he lives here. I'll probably have him do a handful of those. I mean, obviously it bumps up the price a good bit to have somebody, custom do an Anno for it, something like that. But I am looking forward to seeing how people anodize. Just don't, be upset if we steal your idea once you do it. But yeah, so we are going to be using Backer Kit, which has a much more robust post Kickstarter follow-up. And so we'll be sending out, once the cards are charged, we'll be sending out surveys that will take everybody's address. We'll go ahead and capture email, maybe even phone if people will be willing to give it. Because,
text us.
Yeah. And the reason I say that is I've heard that there's a lot of people that, 6 months from now, maybe you won't be in the same address, so we want to confirm everybody's address. Hey, this is where you want this sent to, right? And if you don't respond, it would be nice to be able to email you and maybe even call you if you're cool with that. I mean, we won't make that required or whatever, but like, if you want to make sure that we are able to get in touch with you and make sure that you get what you pay for.
Chat. Like, so how's the weather? What you doing?
Have you been checking out what day? Brian from Winter Blade Co.'s been doing?
we just wanted to call and talk about Brian at Winter Blade Co. We love him.
Yeah, the torch and ferric chloride. Yeah, John's stuff's has come out really cool. So be interested to see, some lightning strike truffles. But yeah, so we'll have some after some add-ons, and then we'll probably also do some of the Aurora Knife and Tool other like patches and stuff. Maybe just do like a reduced cost on that, since it's all going to be shipped in one box kind of thing. But yeah, we're open for ideas. Like I said, we are doing the giveaway on our Instagram, so jump on that if you would like. I don't know. We'll probably do either Sunday or Monday, do a final live before the campaign closes. So we'll go ahead and hop off, since we'll be chatting you guys up.
I keep yawning.
Yeah, it's time for her to go to bed.
Yeah, I think
you're
just boring me so much.
Yeah. Need to crank some metal on the way out of here so we can
mirror polish.
Mirror polish the scales and ride the lightning. Here we go. All right, I don't know. We good? We got everything else we want to say?
I'm good.
Shoot us an email, Instagram.
Bonus points if you mention Brian at Winter Blade. Because we love him.
And so Misheard Knife Reviews, Aurora Knife and Tool on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, formerly Twitter, the platform formerly known as Prince, and Melody's Mellow Vision, Mel_O_Vision. Mm-hmm. She did a really sweet makeup tutorial the other day. That was
if you like to wear colorful eye makeup, which I know literally all of you men on here, you're like, yes, that's what I need in my life. Please tell me how to get that super sharp winged eyeliner. I know you're all thinking it.
Yeah.
Especially Brian at Winter Play.
Yeah, y'all are throwing me under that on YouTube and on Instagram.
Yes.
You're tagging Brian on here so he'll know how ridiculous we are. All right, folks.
We
Appreciate y'all.
genuinely
Thanks
do
for
love it.
keeping us company. Just talking to some random bozos on the internet. So that being us, not you. You guys are the good ones. We're the bozos. So yeah, thank you for your time, and we will catch you next time. How about you? Push unlive on that one. I'll push unlive on this one.
I want to push this one because
Okay. All right.
it means I put my arm on everybody's
Toodaloo,
head.
y'all.
Bye.